Welcome back, Wildflower. Today I want to share something with you that I believed for years, and I think maybe you will be able to relate. Okay, so I thought that one day I'd have a story worth sharing. One day, but not today. Not while I was still figuring things out, not while I still had questions. One day, when everything made sense, when I was fully healed, when I'd built the business, when I'd become her. That day, I would finally tell my story. Now I want to shift gears and I want you to imagine this. Imagine you're hiking through a forest and you've never been there before. The trail is confusing. You come to a fork in the path and you have no idea which way to go. But then you notice something. There's a woman standing just a little further up the trail. She's not at the finish line. She's not at the top of the mountain. She's just a few steps ahead. And she smiles and she points towards the path and says, "Be careful over there. I already stepped in that hole." Would you think, "No, thank you. Come back after you've finished the whole hike"? Of course not. She's exactly who you'd want to hear from because she still remembers. And I think that's what we've gotten backward. We've been taught that we will have to reach the end before we've earned the right to speak. But the woman who's already finished the journey often forgets what the beginning felt like. She forgets the fear, the uncertainty, the second guessing, the tiny decisions that felt impossible. But the woman who's still walking, she remembers everything. And maybe that's why your story matters. Not because it's finished, but because it's happening right now. Think about the last piece of content that really stayed with you, the one that you saved, the one you sent to your friend, the one that made you feel, "Oh, I thought I was the only one." Was it perfect or was it honest? Was it polished or was someone simply telling the truth about what they were experiencing? I've realized the parts of my story that I wanted to hide are most likely the parts another woman needs the most. The relationship that I stayed in too long, moving to Costa Rica without knowing exactly what would happen, starting over, over and over and over, being a single mom, questioning everything. Those aren't the chapters that disqualify me. They're the map for the woman who's standing exactly where I once stood. And maybe that's true for you too. Maybe the chapter you're embarrassed by is someone else's survival guide. Maybe the thing you think would make people trust you less is actually the thing that makes them trust you more. Because people don't follow perfection. They follow honesty. They follow someone who says, "I've been there too." So today, I'm giving myself permission to stop waiting until I've arrived. Because maybe there is no arrival. Maybe life isn't something we're supposed to finish before we talk about it. Maybe we're simply supposed to tell the truth as we walk. So in the last episode, we talked about learning to trust yourself again. Today, I want to share my story because this is what happened when I finally did. This is a part of my story that I used to think sometimes made me look irresponsible, but I honestly think it's the chapter that has been able to help the most women. When I was a single mom, I made the decision to move to Costa Rica with my two little girls. They were 6 and 8 years old. And here's the part that most people don't know. I had never been there before. The people that did know that thought I was crazy. Lots of people tried to talk me out of it. Others questioned whether I was making a huge mistake. And honestly, there were moments when I questioned that too. But there was something inside of me, quiet, steady. She just knew. I couldn't explain it, and I couldn't prove it. I just knew. So I trusted that feeling. And that one decision changed the entire course of my life. Looking back now, I realize that story isn't something to hide. It's the reason that women trust me. And it's not because I had figured it all out, but because I know what it feels like to make a terrifying decision without guarantees, without proof, just hope, and a quiet voice inside that refused to go away. So yeah, for a long time, I thought I had to wait until my story was finished before I could share it. But life isn't lived from the finish line. It's lived one brave decision at a time. So maybe the chapter you're hiding is exactly the chapter another woman needs to hear. Today's question is this: what chapter of your story have you been treating like a liability when it might actually be someone else's map? So maybe today you stop hiding it because someone else is praying for the woman who's just a few steps ahead. And that woman might be you. Until next time, keep asking better questions.